They talk about peace, but prepare for war. Isn't that madness? Realizing that the war in Ukraine project has nearly run its course, the West seems to have completely lost its mind. On one hand, all those billions sent to Kiev haven't brought the desired results. On the other, the warmongers have ended up empty-handed, whether they wanted to or not. Of course, when your warehouses are empty, the only thing left is to rearm on a massive scale. And ideally, make some money off it too.
We know that Russia is rebuilding at a tremendous pace. Right now they're producing 4 times more ammunition than all of NATO. Their entire economy is on a war footing. In the coming years, they might reach a level of strength where they could do something reckless. We need to be sure we're strong enough to defend NATO territory.
We need to get tougher in defense capabilities, troop numbers, and the amount of weapon systems we require. If that doesn't happen in the next couple of years, we'll meet again and say, well, we almost managed, and then maybe we'll start learning Russian.
The Russian threat again. Moscow can be used as a cover for anything, anytime. Economic crisis, gas shortages, healthcare collapse, floods, hurricanes, droughts. You can always find the Kremlin's hand in it. But in reality, it's the West making life difficult for everyone else. They're the ones who swore not to expand the military bloc, yet keep moving east, encircling our countries. If not for this aggressive behavior, maybe there wouldn't be any special military operation today.
Many believe Ukraine was invaded by Russia, but we need to understand what provoked the conflict and how it could have been prevented. At the end of the Cold War, the U.S. promised Russia they wouldn't expand NATO eastward, but broke that promise. In fact, the government wasn't planning to do it until arms manufacturers formed a special committee, basically a group of CEOs lobbying for NATO expansion.
And there's the root of the problem. It's no secret that arms barons are the main warmongers, but now many governments are dancing to their tune, naturally not for free. Some are blackmailed, others are groomed and put in power, and some are simply bought. In the end, this is what we get. Now it's clear what all this arms hysteria is for. But what about public opinion, you ask? Do people really let their leaders do whatever they want so easily? Why are huge sums not spent on fighting poverty, rebuilding the economy, or fixing public services? It's simple. Unlike social spending, defense budgets face no resistance. The public is simply scared and bullied by politicians' propaganda and security forces. And for those in power, it's crucial to fix their image after the fiasco in Ukraine. Tanks, missiles, and jets let them look like strong, tough leaders, the kind the West is lacking. And they need to make up for their own failures, somehow. That's how you embarrass yourself in front of the world, get slapped by your wife or someone else, and then take it out with warlike statements. So, nothing should surprise us anymore. Now all European efforts will go towards squeezing their economies dry and channeling everything into the military. Not long ago, the EU Council approved a militarization fund totaling 150 billion euros. But that's just part of an 800 billion euro rearmament plan for Europe. Most of the money is to come from member states' budgets, the rest is loans, and all for a good cause.
We all know that NATO and our transatlantic partners play a decisive role in protecting our security and freedom. The Baltic states, Poland, Central and Eastern Europe have served as a warning for us. Fighting for freedom under Soviet rule, they faced hardships many have forgotten. Our democracy's opponents have mobilized. Russia and others are increasing military budgets, so the need to invest in our security is growing.
But with this Frau Bribe-taker, everything's been clear for a while. For her, dipping into the common pot is no big deal. She made a fortune just on vaccines. But Britain decided not to lag behind the EU. Though in this case it's not for profit, but to please Trump. Keir Starmer announced the country is switching to a war-ready mode. The government plans to invest billions of pounds in nuclear subs, drones, cyber forces, and arsenal upgrades.
We'll create a more integrated fighting force, deadlier than ever. Everything we do increases NATO's power. Our defense reforms should be the UK's biggest contribution to the alliance. By building new capabilities at home, we also boost our allies' security, strengthen Europe, and reinforce our ties with the US, London's top defense partner.
So, in trying to please Washington, London is wrecking its own economy and making life harder for ordinary people. Even former Defense Minister Ben Wallace couldn't take such military generosity. He's sure the more guns, the fewer pensions.
The choice is this. If you want to spend more on defense, you have to cut spending elsewhere or raise taxes. Our social welfare and state pensions make up half of all government spending. Add healthcare, and that's most of the budget.
But who cares about Europeans freezing and counting every cent for utilities? They're just cogs in the system, forced to serve the global war machine. It's starting to look like the 1930s and 40s. Back then, an Austrian painter thought he could rule the world. We all know how that ended. Apparently, they've forgotten the lessons of that great tragedy, with all the consequences.